Hey, Michael and Ariana. I wanted to show you a couple things about the compass that you guys have. And I know, Michael, you had one already, and Ariana, you have one like this now. And you have to be careful because they can open and close on you a little bit because they move really easily sometimes. So when you're working with them, you want to try to keep it at one distance. If it starts moving around because it's too loose, it'll change what you're doing and it'll mess things up. So what I want to do is I want to make a little video so you guys could see a couple of things that I think are really cool about geometry. And geometry is what we call the math where you study different kinds of shapes and angles and all kinds of really cool things. And there's a lot of cool geometry you can do with the compass and a straight edge and just a pencil. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to get set up to show you guys a couple of the things that I thought were really cool, and maybe, I don't know, I'll see what else I can do. It might not come through too on the video though. So give me 1 second, I'm going to turn things around and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so geometry does a lot of stuff with points, lines, and plane. A point would be just one little dot. That's a point. A line is something that I can draw with something with a nice straight edge. So I'll put a ruler or I'll put the edge of the protractor down and I'll use that to make a part of a line. In geometry, a real line goes forever, but my paper's only so big. So I'll make what they call a line segment. And a plane is a flat surface. So for what I'm doing, this paper would be my plane. It's a flat surface that I'm working on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the the protractor to about 2 inches, just because I want to make two different things on this piece of paper. And you can always check to make sure that the measurements are right by holding it up to a ruler or something to see if it's really set for 2 inches. And I just want to be careful that that doesn't move as I'm working. I put the point of the compass right on that middle point, and I'm going to draw a nice circle. Try not to let anything move on me. And I hope that's dark enough to show up on the video. So it came all the way back around, made a nice circle. And I might take a... Well, no, I'll just leave that like it is. I'm going to go ahead and make another one right here. So there's my point. That's the center of the circle. And I don't know how much geometry you guys know, but however wide that compass is opened up, that's what we call the radius of a circle. The radius of a circle is the distance from the middle to all the points that go around the outer part of the circle. Now, Michael, I noticed your bicycle had spokes that are radial laced. Spokes that are radial laced are spokes in the wheel that go straight from the middle to the outside because it's the radius of your wheel. A lot of other bicycles will have different cross patterns in their spokes. And if you look at bicycle wheels, you'll see all kinds of different patterns they can use. But yours are radial laced, and again, that means your spokes go right from the middle hub to the outer part, which is where the rim is. So anyway, that's your radius. The diameter is the distance all the way across the circle, the longest distance you can go across. So there's two things I wanted to show you, and they both are going to keep that radius set the same way. So that radius is still the same, and I'm just going to choose any point on the edge of the circle. And from that point, I'm going to measure that radius and see where it hits the next point, and the next point, and the next point. I'm just going to put little dash marks there. Where those two things intersect, that's going to be a new point I'm going to use. But hang on 1 second, let me finish this. To there. And if I do it right, it should finish right where I started. So I'm going to go ahead and darken those in and make some points where all that happened. And then I'm going to take my straight edge and make some line segments connecting all those things. And what I think is cool about this is if you're careful, you can make a really nice, really good looking six-sided shape. That's a hexagon. Now there are ways to make other kinds of shapes too, but I want to show you the hexagon first because it's the easiest. It's not too tough to make that all work. And so I think that's a really cool pattern. The other one I want to show you is the same thing. I'm going to, again, go back to keeping my radius the right way. I'm going to just give myself a starting point anywhere on the circle. I'm going to do the same thing and measure around. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4, 5, and the sixth one brings me back to where I started. It's always good to double check and make sure that matches up the right way. Now instead of connecting each consecutive point, I'm going to skip points this time. So I'm going to go from this one, I'm going to skip and go to the next one. Then I'm going to skip and go to the next one, and skip and go back to that one. And what that makes is a really nice triangle. That's an equilateral triangle because all three sides are perfectly equal, and it fits right in that circle really, really nicely. We call that an inscribed shape. It is inscribed in the circle. And we can go back and connect the other 3 points that I skipped, and it makes another cool pattern. Something else you can do, and you can make a 6-pointed star. Now speaking of stars, there's something else cool I did want to show you guys. It's really not going to use the compass so much. And you can do other stuff with that too. I mean, you have another hexagon inside here. You could connect these and make another outside hexagon. There's all kinds of neat things you can do. I think they're pretty cool. You can also, make other designs inside. And the more little designs you make, what happens a lot of time is you end up making more and more little equilateral triangles. More and more triangles that are the same shape with all three sides equal, but they're smaller. But they're all very similar in their shape. And you can make all kinds of cool stuff, I think. And I think it's pretty neat looking. So that was one thing I wanted to show you guys. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with a compass. That's just a couple of examples of something that I think is a pretty easy one for you guys to try out and see what you think of it. Now I wanted to show you something else about stars. Let me see if I can do this. And I don't really need the... you can just make a bunch of dots, but I'm going to use the compass for this. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Oh, and by the way, this over here, it doesn't matter where you start in the circle, and it doesn't matter how big your circle is. This should always happen if you're really careful with it. So you can make a really, really big circle. You can make a really small circle. Sometimes a certain size is nicer to work on, or it fits in the paper, but it doesn't matter what your radius is as long as you keep it the same for the whole thing. So that's something really cool about that, I think. Now, like I said, I changed a little bit here. I think I'm set to about 2.5 inches now. Just want to make it a little bit bigger. And I wanted to show you something else that I think is cool with stars. And you can take any number you want and just put a bunch of points around that circle. So I'm going to put like, I don't know. Let me just see how many I get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's good. And I'm just going to choose a point to start on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip a certain number of points. I'm going to skip 3 points and go to the 4th. So I'm going to go from here to here and draw a line. Now I'm going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth again. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth one. And again, I can use all kinds of different patterns, but I want to keep it the same as I'm working. Skip 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth one. Skip 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth one. Skip 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth one. Oh boy, that's a tricky one there. Skip 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth one. Skip 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth one. I'm almost done. Takes longer to talk about than does to do it. 1, 2, 3, and go to the fourth one. And so what I wanted to just show you real quick with this, 1, 2, 3, and then go to the fourth. There's only one left. And then I go back to where I started. And that is an 11-pointed star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you can make any number of points on any star you want, and you can use different patterns of how many you skip. But once you start, keep the pattern the same, and it'll work its way around. There's a lot of different ways it could happen. The more you skip, the more pointy the stars get. If you skip less, then your stars get a little bit more, kind of like more rounded. And again, I just think that's a really cool thing. If you wanted to go back, I don't have an eraser, but you could go back. If you draw your circle lightly, you could erase the circle now. And you guys could probably be a little bit neater than I am here because I missed a little bit there. And so that's just another thing you can do that I think is really cool. And I'm going to try to make some other videos for you guys if I get a chance to show you some other cool things that I think you can do with geometry. And that's that. Circle now. So anyway, those are just a couple things I wanted to show you. I hope you guys think they're neat, and I hope I can get a chance maybe this summer to send a couple other videos your way of some other things you can look at and certain kinds of doodles you can do. There's a couple little like math and drawing things that I think are pretty neat, and you guys are at a really good age to learn stuff like that and start seeing, you know, all the cool things you can do as you learn more and more stuff. There's lots of really neat things you can you know, understand a lot deeper and you know, make a lot of sense out of it. So that's it. I love you guys, and I'm going to get going here. Hope you get a chance to try that out. I hope it works for you, and if you like it, let me know, and I'll try to get some other videos of maybe circles and compasses or maybe other stuff that I can show you guys how to do. And that's it. Love you guys. See you later.